live. Still saying I'm offline. Anyway, it says I'm broadcasting, so I'm gonna start. Alright, I'm just gonna play my premium tanks today. I need some experience on my D34 Black. I got it for free. But in the meantime, I'm gonna just share some thoughts as they come up. Oh, this is early in the morning, so I'm just having coffee. Well, it's early in the morning for me, anyway. So I will have to double check. Anyway, I'm just gonna play a little bit of World of Tanks, and in the meantime I'm probably gonna talk about loot boxes in EA and everything like that. I probably shouldn't stream this early in the morning when I'm not all set up, but I just have to get this off my chest, basically.
Let's get this show on the road.
I'm not a great player in World of Tanks, but I like it because, well, it gives me something when I have nothing to do. Excuse me. I don't know what nobody went in the city. They don't have a lot of heavy tanks, you know, either. Alright. There we go. Just one. Talking and playing is a little bit different, isn't it? Let's just open that. And of course it misses. Why not? Yep, that's what happens. The tracks ate it. Oh, he shot me with an AP. What the? 82 is probably stopped. Hello, Spectre. Ah. Hello.
Enemy hit.
I hope I held him. No, I didn't. Everybody's camping at the base. I didn't hold them back long enough. I think the Churchill's AFK. And, well, let's talk about what's going on with Destiny 2. This is why even cosmetics are gambling. Just to get you up to speed, Destiny 2 was lying to their players how much experience they were getting. the screen said one thing, but the actual experience that was added to their experience bar was less. In some cases as low as 4% of what they were actually shown as getting. And that's just so they can sell you bright engrams. Now, excuse me, smoking is bad for you, don't do it. Public service announcement. This is why even cosmetics in games are not good. If you're selling something in a game, you're not selling it not to sell stuff. You know what I mean? It's like they're not trying not to sell it to you. They're not being good people by selling you things. They're being salesmen. And of course they're gonna make the game such that you would want to buy stuff. So even if, let's take Overwatch, which is another Activision-Blizzard game like Destiny 2. Overwatch only has cosmetics for purchase. But the thing is, they can find out which character you're playing most and then do an inverse ratio of how likely you're gonna get a cosmetic item for that character. So the character you like most has a lower chance of getting cosmetics. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but they can do that because it's all encoding. You're not rolling actual dice where they have to have some trick in the dice and magnets in the tables and all that stuff that was going on, that conspiracy theorists thought was going on in Las Vegas. You know, the dice had something inside of them which the casino could predict which die is going to fall first and on which number. And also the roulette wheels were suspect that they were being tampered with, so there's a lower chance for the ball to drop on a number that was most often played, or a color that was most often played. Let's say if everybody on the casino was betting on black all the time, there was going to be less chance for black to land. Those are just conspiracy theories. In coding, we've seen that this happens. Of course we lost the game. In coding, it's really easy to do that because the server can do the calculations in milliseconds. It doesn't even need to do a lot of calculations. Saying that there's 2 people watching, but YouTube is telling me that I'm not even live yet, so I don't know what's going on with the stream. Either way, that was just a little game with my T34. Actually, I'm gonna add additional experience over here. Do I have for credits? No, I don't have credits. Okay, so let's do another battle. Maybe it'll go better. Anyway, I was talking about how they can set it up so you have lower chances of getting stuff you want. And for a game like Overwatch, it's really easy because there's a limited number of characters. They know how many players they have, so they can track each player's data and see which character they play most and reduce the chance of getting a cosmetic item for that character. So you really want a cosmetic item and you just keep leveling and grinding, and you're getting all these customization options for characters you don't want to play, you don't like them. Let's say you like D.Va and you're playing D.Va as often as you could because, you know, in Overwatch the mechanic is set up your team properly, so sometimes you'll have to sacrifice, you know, what you want for the good of the team. But how many people actually do that? Honestly, only those who are, you know, really into the game and into winning. I'm gonna have to change it to the left. And we have an AFK-IS. Good tank. Anyway. So every single game that has any kind of loot box system is open to these shenanigans that Destiny 2 basically did. There's no two ways around it. You basically have a system which is set up for exploitation of the player base. I don't go this way very often. I have no idea, but I don't have traffic, so sit there in the back and see what happens. Anyway, I don't want to tell people to buy or not buy certain games, but if you're willing to buy them and you're supporting any kind of microtransactions in a game which is full price, well, just so you know, you're setting yourself up to be exploited and for failure, basically, as a customer. Capitalism only works if the customers keep watch on the companies and don't actually encourage such behaviors as were represented by Activision-Blizzard in Destiny 2, where they lied to their customers' face, and for some reason that's not enough to anger people for some odd reason.
Penetration.
Nobody's as angry as they were at Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I think it deserves as much as scorn as Battlefront 2, because Battlefront 2 was set up to, pay to win, but at least you knew what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to spend money. So if you bought the game, you knew you were supposed to spend money. But in Destiny 2, they lied about it. They didn't tell you that you need to spend money to play the game or to progress, to get bright Ingrams. No, they just said, oh, it's extra for those who, don't have time to play the game.
Penetration.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's obviously not true if you're gonna set it up so... If you're gonna set it up so your players don't get experience to get bright Ingrams if they're doing it too quickly. Oh, they're doing it too quickly. Well, what's the matter? They paid for the game. Well, they're not paying us for Ingrams. That's the problem. They're not paying their dues. It's like a bookie. You're paying to have a bookie, keeping track of when you're paying your bills. Well, I'm sorry, but you don't have bills when you paid full price for the game. That should be the game. I don't care if it's 70 bucks. I don't care if it's 80 bucks. I don't care if they're selling it retail for 120 bucks. People who can buy it will buy it, and people who can't buy it will wait for a sale and then buy it. But that's not what they're doing. They're selling it for 60 or 80 bucks, and then they're asking you to spend another 100 bucks on top of that. Well, I'm sorry, but that's, I don't want to call it evil. And it's not just rude. It's a word that's in between evil. Dastardly? Yeah, that's a word. Dastardly. We'll go with that one. Sorry. Again, don't smoke. Public service. Early in the morning, this is what happens. So... that's all I wanted to say about Destiny 2. I don't know if I put my thoughts in order. Maybe I'll talk about it later too. Battlefield 2, it seems it's a grind fest. You need 4,000 hours to unlock everything now. Since you're not paying money, you've got to spend 4,000 hours. I haven't played that much in World of Warcraft. I've played World of Warcraft for 7 years and I haven't spent 4,000 hours. I checked. I spent 3,900 hours over 7 years. So if you are willing to do that, well, go ahead and play Battlefront 2 for 7 years so you can unlock everything in it. Good luck. Otherwise, you'll have to at least double your playing time so you can get it in 3.5 years. And that means that you're going to have to be playing for 20 hours a week, every week, without break, without rest. And if you don't If you're not willing to wait for 3.5 years, well, you just gotta increase it a little bit more. Then you have to play 70 hours a week for 52 weeks, so you can get it before the end of 2018. That's a full-time job and a half. That's ridiculous. Who has that kind of time? I'll tell you who. Children. Why do you think they had the pay-to-win system in there? No serious player is gonna settle for pay-to-win. I mean, yeah, there's some Call of Duty controversies which suggest that Call of Duty has been pay-to-win for the last 3 years. Yeah, that's true. Kind of, I guess. But Call of Duty was never a serious, you know, game for the last 3 years. Was never for the last 3 years. Was not a serious game for the last 3 years. It was just, you know, a first-person shooter with, you know, cover mechanics. Whatever. You go in, you shoot people, and you get out. I mean, it's nothing better than Counter-Strike. But Counter-Strike was balanced. You enter the match, you're giving a set number of credits for the first round. You win or lose, you make credits for each kill or damage you do, or bomb diffusions. In the next match, you get more money. So the more you win, the better off you are. And even if your team doesn't win the match, if you're good at the game, you're gonna get some more money and you're gonna get some powerful weapons, so you can actually carry your team forward. So it wasn't an individual thing, and it wasn't a team game. It was both. The individual and the team mattered in Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike Source, a little bit too, but I think they started nerfing how much stuff you get, and they started distributing it for the whole team. I haven't played CSGO because I'm not about to pay for a mod. That's another thing. Counter-Strike was free with Half-Life. You get Half-Life, you get a Counter-Strike mod from the company, from Valve. Why do you think Valve is so loved? Why do you think Steam happened? Because people trusted them. Because they gave you stuff for buying their game. They actually showed customer appreciation. Something that's not happening in the gaming industry anymore. The last 2 years have been hell. What the hell are people doing? I mean, is World of Tanks pay to win? Yes, it is. See this tank? You can buy it with money. This tank, sold for money. This tank, sold for money. It's pay to progress. By my definition, in my previous videos of pay to win, this game is pay to win. You can pay money to progress faster. But guess what? If you want to just play it for free, you can. You get these bonds for free. You get this currency for free. You get free experience for free. You get this currency for free. I mean, the only thing that you have to purchase is gold, and sometimes you get gold for free as well. Is it pay to win? Yes. Is it free to play? Yes. Am I criticizing it for it? No. And there's no gambling. What you pay for is what you get. If Battlefront 2 was this way, free to play, and you pay for what you get, I wouldn't care even if they had pay to win. Yeah, we'll call it pay to win, and people who want to play it will still play it, and they'll spend $2,000 on the game in the first 2 years and then forget about it because they'll get bored of it. Because let's face it, if you go on a match and you just shoot somebody in the face and it's one-shot kills all over the place, that's not a fun game. So they'll have to balance it amongst the players to make it fun, to make it competitive. So even if it is pay to win, sooner or later it'll start balancing out to make it so they can keep getting new players. And this is what's happening to this game. That's why we have so many new tanks in the game. I'm gonna look at the tech tree. Swedish tank destroyers. Couple of them never saw battle. Some of them are pure prototypes. Made it out in the battlefield and just sat there. Never tested. Just trust the stats that we have here. Look at the Chinese tank destroyers. Where are they? Yeah, FT. It stands for fake tank. Well, at least that's what people say. I haven't actually checked the description. Let me check the description of the tank. Yeah, no prototypes were built. It's just something that was thought of. Never really built or anything like that. So it has fake tanks. And they're trying to balance the game. Because German tank destroyers, which were never built, also existed. Where is it? There it is. RHM. Rambatal Waffenträger. Probably a few of them were built, but it was never meant to be there. And it's just completely overpowered over other tanks because they gave it stats that just are ridiculous. Actually, I think all the British tanks existed because all the Brits went a little bit nuts with the tank modeling. Instead of going with one tank and just sticking to it, they just made, well, all of these, which is weird. The American tree, look at it. You got your medium tanks and heavy tanks. There's some medium tanks over here too. The M4 line goes to the Payton. Some heavy tanks. Some more tank destroyers over here. This one and this one were prototypes. And the E4 was prototype. Because I think the American military just went, why do we even need tank destroyers? Let's just make a main battle tank with a big gun. And in the 70s, in the 60s, they started designing the main battle tank 70 model with East Germany. So it's an East German model, East German and American collaboration, and it became the M1A1 Abrams tank. It's based on the MBT-70. It was probably the cheapest tank design in the history of tank design, except the communist ones, because they don't count. I'm sorry, but they're cheating. Communism is cheating. You heard it here first. You don't pay a fair price for labor, you're cheating. That's it. Socialism is the same way. You don't pay a fair price for labor. I'm sorry, but people want to get paid a lot of money to do something creative. They're not getting paid a lot of money, they're not doing anything creative. I mean, it's all about leisure time. How much leisure time can you afford? Leisure time is getting more and more expensive. So people who need leisure time need more and more money. If you want somebody to be creative, you have to give them leisure time. You have to make them sit on a beach somewhere and wait for an apple to fall on their tree. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Wait for an apple to fall on their tree. That's what I mean. Nope, that's not what I mean. An apple to fall on their head. That's basically it. You need leisure time. You need to get your brain wandering, your fantasy working, and that's how you get creative stuff. No, yeah, sometimes it's a flash of brilliance, but most of the time it's just brain work, sitting down and thinking about stuff, and that's not working. So you need leisure time, so you need to be able to afford it, and in the meantime you need mundane stuff so the company can make money so it can afford leisure time. Anyway. Oh, that's a hell of a tangent to have early in the morning. Opening up economics and creativity theory. Yeah, that's... Let me play this one again so I can get off the subject. I was talking about loot boxes and stuff, wasn't I? Yes, I was. Any system that's in a game like this, it's made to spend and make you spend money. It's just made that way. They have to do it. And they're actually very intelligent people working out how to steal money. I call it theft, but let's not call it that. It's not really theft if you're really into it, but it's to provoke people into spending money. I believe Star Citizen was accused of that. But they're promising once the game goes live, when you buy the game, everything is unlocked for you. You just have to earn the credits to buy it, and because the non-player characters are going to be outnumbering the player population 9-1, it doesn't matter how big of a ship you have, people will always have the option of working with you or with an NPC, so the NPCs will be setting basically the prices and the salaries people working on the ships get. So if somebody if there's a fleet of big ships, those guys still have to pay people to crew their ships. So running a big ship will be expensive in the early game, so everybody will have to start out with some sort of single player ship and play that for a while they get enough reputation and credits so people will trust them with big jobs. Now, I think if you played X3, Terran Conflict or Reunion, you'll be familiar with that stuff. Getting reputation. I was coming in to help the T-54. He doesn't need my help, and I'm actually in his way right now. No, I don't.
One of our tracks is damaged. One of our tracks is damaged. The commander's injured.
There, Art, you almost killed him. Oh, that's the Foch 555. 155. Say sorry to this dude.
Lost our track. We're stuck here. Lost our track. We're stuck here. We fixed the track.
As long as I hold all of these guys back, I'm fine. Ah, damn it.
We're done for. Everyone get out.
I couldn't hold them. And there's 5 guys in the city just doing nothing. I'm not counting the bat chat. I mean, light tanks are not supposed to be only spotters anymore, but I mean, what is he gonna do? Rush it and then die? You can't do him penetrate a T-110 E5. But yeah, we lost this side. They're gonna get flanked and die. This is gonna be sad for them. It's gonna be very sad for them. You see my streaming settings. Yeah, I'll stop broadcasting.